Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Advance. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, when we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. So today we got a pretty interesting show for you guys here, man, that we want to get into. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, as y'all know, Stephen A. Smith is notorious for hating on Kawhi Leonard. He has been doing this for the past probably 4 or 5 years. Now, this is something that we used to cover in the past. And whenever we used to produce shows around this, we used to always ask the question, which was, what is Stephen A. Smith's issue with Kawhi Leonard? What's the issue with a guy that barely talks? But for whatever reason, he's always kind of saying one or two things about him. He's always picking against his teams for whatever reason. Even that year, when Kawhi Leonard and the Toronto Raptors won that championship, they went on an improbable run. And Stephen A. Smith picked against Kawhi Leonard for 3 straight rounds and was wrong for 3 straight rounds. He picked against them to lose to Philly. He was wrong. After the Milwaukee Bucks won Game 2, he said the series was over. He was wrong. And then we go into the NBA Finals. He was wrong again. Coming into this particular playoffs, the Clippers find themselves facing who? The Phoenix Suns, who many people believe to be the favorites in that series. And of course, right on schedule, Stephen A. Smith is picking against Kawhi Leonard. So what happened? The Clippers went out there in Game 1 and won a thriller against the Phoenix Suns. The very next day on ESPN First Take, Kendrick Perkins pressed him on some of the positions that he took against the Clippers, because if you remember correctly, Kendrick Perkins actually had the Clippers winning this series. Now, he didn't pick them. He didn't make a prediction from a game-to-game basis, but he has the Clippers winning that series. So what happened? The Clippers win Game 1. Stephen A. Smith then comes on TV and begins to what? Modify his position. But in the process of that, he then decides to make an absolutely ridiculous statement about Kawhi Leonard as he tries to give him a backhanded compliment. So for those of you who missed what Stephen A. Smith had to say, what we want to do is want to play for you now, and then we're going to come back and react to his comments.
I'm not going to run from what Big Perk tried to throw at me, because I said, ain't no way that the Suns are losing to the Clippers without Paul George. I have to modify that. There's no way they should, but obviously they could. I have to concede that. And Big Perk deserves a lot of credit. I know we debate and all of that other stuff, but damn it, the truth is the truth. You brought up Ty Lue, no doubt. I brought up Westbrook, but for different reasons. We all knew what Kawhi was capable of. Here's what I thought would happen. What I thought would happen was KD gonna be like, yeah, I'm healthy now. This ain't the finals when I tore my Achilles, bro, and you won that championship in Toronto because LeBron had left the Eastern Conference and stuff like that. You're lucky to get out of there. You know, even though DeMar DeRozan, I believe, would have pulled off the same thing Kawhi Leonard did if LeBron wasn't in the Eastern Conference that year. But that's neither here nor there. At the end of the day, he got it done. And in the end, I'm thinking, all right, KD gets to go up against Kawhi. Kawhi don't have Paul George. It's me and you. Let's get it on. And I'm going to tell you what alarmed me. It's a little nugget, and I understand it's schematic. It's not something that's held against KD or anything like that. When Kawhi had the ball in the fourth quarter, far more often than not, particularly as the game waned, I saw somebody else guarding him. When KD had the ball, I saw Kawhi. And so that I'm paying attention to stuff like that. Now let me say this. Clippers played a hell of a game. Kawhi did his thing. I cannot say enough about Russell Westbrook. I don't give a damn that he shot 3 for 19. I mean, that was bad. 3 for 19, won a series. That is not impressive. But the defense this brother was playing, and that last play against Devin Booker, you understand, the block and then lunging out of bounds to throw the ball off of Devin Booker to regain possession for the Clippers. Key pivotal play, big time performance by Russell Westbrook defending. Obviously, he got key rebounds. as well. He was aggressive. He was, tenacious, just himself in that regard. I cannot say enough. Russell Westbrook's performance last night is why I loved his arrival to the Los Angeles Clippers. Because whether it was John Wall, who had been injured for a couple of years and just wasn't the same, or Reggie Jackson before him, who obviously could play and could shoot, Russell Westbrook brings a different level of energy and passion than those guys bring. And considering Paul George, who's Mr. Mellow, and Kawhi Leonard, who's excessively so in his own right, you need that if you're the Los Angeles Clippers. That's what they got from Russell Westbrook last night. So I'm going to modify my position by saying, having said all of that, the Suns should still win this series. Without Paul George, there is no excuse for Kevin Durant and Devin Booker to be losing this series. And if Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, more so Kevin Durant, goes home in the first round to a Paul George-less Clippers, well, we're going to be having a different conversation in a couple of weeks. I'm going to save it for that. We're going to be having a different conversation in a couple of weeks. Because the Suns, I still concede, Big Perk, the Suns, there is no way in hell they should lose this series without having to go against Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, who the Clippers were 24-14 when both of them were in the lineup, 16-15 when at least one of them was missing. There's no excuse that you lose this series, to a Paul George-less Los Angeles Clippers squad. Suns better not lose this series. They better not lose.
So you heard what Stephen A. Smith had to say. He said that he believes that if you had replaced Kawhi Leonard with a DeMar DeRozan, and LeBron wasn't playing in the Eastern Conference, he believes that DeMar DeRozan gets the Raptors to the finals and wins it all. So what are you saying here? That what if LeBron was still in the Eastern Conference, Kawhi Leonard could not get past him? Like, what are we saying right now? Number one, have you seen Kawhi's regular season record against LeBron? Like, what are we talking about here? What are we talking about? The fact, and listen, I love DeMar DeRozan. I think he's one of the best players in the world, which he is. And he's been one of the most consistent players in the NBA. And, he's a hell of a player. And for sure, he's going to go to the Hall of Fame, most likely. But DeMar DeRozan has never had a playoff series on par with really any of the best series Kawhi Leonard has had. And it's not even worth discussing. In the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seasons that he played with the Toronto Raptors in the playoffs, he's never had a playoff series comparable to the series Kawhi Leonard had. I think his best series with the Raptors was, if I look at the 2017-2018 series, in 10 games he scored 22.7 points per game on 43.7% shooting. 28.6% shooting from the 3-point line. He got you 81% shooting from the free throw line, 3.6 rebounds, 4 assists, only 2 turnovers, and 0.5 in steals. That's probably his best playoff run with the Raptors. Let me give you Kawhi Leonard's best playoff run. Or I'll just give you one of them. The one that he had with the Toronto Raptors, he averaged, I'm talking about now for the playoffs, he averaged 30 points per game, 30.5 points per game on 49% shooting, 37.9% shooting from the three, let's say 88% shooting from the free throw line, had 9.1 rebounds, 3.9 assists, 3.1 turnovers, 1.7 steals, 1.7 blocks, and led the playoffs in points and rebounds as a small forward. That's just one of his series. The season before that, in 12 games, he averaged 27.7 points per game on 52% shooting, 45.5% shooting from the 3-point line, 93% shooting from the free throw line, with 7.8 rebounds, 12.6 assists, and he has so many other series like that. What are we talking about here? Like, what are we discussing here? Kawhi Leonard for the playoffs, his playoff shooting average is above 50%. His playoff 3-point shooting percentage is above 40%. His playoff free throw shooting percentage is like in the 80s. What are we discussing? We're talking about a two-time Finals MVP. So when you say stuff like that, it makes me realize that I don't even know what type of analysis Stephen A. Smith put into that. So you were able to tell that DeMar DeRozan would do that, but you weren't able to tell that the Clippers could possibly win Game 1? Okay. So what I want to know from you guys is, what do you think about what Stephen A. Smith had to say? Whatever you guys think, leave your thoughts in the comment section. We catch you on the next show.